You're listening to Force Majeure, an actual play Star Wars podcast. My name is Adam and I'm your host, and today's episode will be brought to you after these words from our sponsors. Are you looking for the ultimate ride? The new XP40 Whiplash from the Sorrow Sub Corporation is the final frontier in sport speeder design. Featuring the latest in Flusum repulsive technology, a Cobalt 6 ion thruster, and integrated droid brain performance handling, the XP40 leads other speeders at the starting line. Designed in conjunction with award-winning racers, the XP40 is at home on the track, on the streets, and even, thanks to their latest low-altitude grav dampeners, in the sky. Available now from licensed Sorrow Sub dealers with monthly payment plans and finance agreements available. Give yourself Whiplash, the XP40 Whiplash from Sorrow Sub. Dream to go faster. Hello everybody and welcome back to episode 17 of the Coldfire Chronicles. My name is Adam and I'm your GM, and I am joined around the virtual table by...
Hi, my name's Ed Fortune. I play the character of Oberon Brick. He's a human. His specializations are, he was a hunter, he's now an Ataru striker. His career is seeker. His emotional strength is justice, and his emotional weakness is cruelty.
Hi, I'm Ross. I play Agatha, a Morailan warrior aggressor colossus, whose emotional strength is his pride, and whose weakness is his obsession.
Hi, I'm Mikey. I play Jiren. He's a Chiss mystic advisor. His emotional strength is his enthusiasm, but his emotional weakness is his recklessness.
Hi, I'm Mim. I play Lassa. She's a human sentinel artisan. Her emotional strength is her curiosity, but her weakness is obsession.
And before we get started with today's episode, is there a question from our characters?
There is. I have an idea for something I'm going to do with my winnings after the duel. I'm going to go and get the tattoos that I've been meaning to get for quite some time, but I would like each of you to give some thought to this question. It's a Morailan thing to get tattoos marked for significant life events, and all of you are significant events in my life. I would like to know, is there a specific moment you think should be symbolized, that you think should be I should get a tattoo for, and what would you think should symbolize it?
I don't really don't understand how that works in your culture, but surely you've come a long way. You've broken chains. You've become your own person. There's something like that, something about a strive for independence, a discovery of who you are, a journey into your inner strength.
Going to interrupt, push Oberon out the way and go, I must not hurt my teammates or throw them at things. Tattooed on your arm 3 times. Actually, for Lassa, milk, 2 sugars. There we go.
Oh, I like that one, yes. Lots of blue milk, whipped cream, sprinkles of cinnamon.
Maybe also the discoveries we've made, the fact that we've explored and gone into different places and discovered strange and exciting things that, as I understand, is something that is well respected amongst your peers. Discovery.
So, an instruction on what to do in battle, how to make the tea, and metaphysics in general. Got it.
Well, actually, to be fair, I mean, Oberon, I'm not particularly sure that what he really wants tattooed on him is, I am a secret Jedi. I have done many things that if other people found out about, I'd probably be arrested. I'm not sure if you really want that tattooed on yourself, so it probably has to be a bit more abstract.
He could always get that tattooed and then have it tattooed over like redacted.
I understand Moralans have things like, I recently got tenure and I have multiple doctorates in this. I believe there's a lot of what the tattoos say. I might be wrong.
I have the death sentence on 12-star systems.
I mean, there is that.
You know what? I'm going to get drunk and think about it properly.
That's how you do tattoos. Lassa is going to very daintily just roll up the base of her work overalls. Just above her ankle, there's a crossed spanner and screwdriver. Something like that. But then covers it again and walks off. Nothing more is said about it. It looks like it was probably done in a ship with oil or something like that. It's the equivalent of a prison tattoo done in deep space.
Agatha, have you just said, let's all get tattoos? Because I heard, let's all get tattoos.
I mean, I wasn't saying you shouldn't. You can do what you like. You've got your own winnings from the duel.
I just want to point out that I was a pirate for 12 years. I have never got a tattoo. I am not getting a tattoo now. No. My body is a canvas, which I would like to keep clean.
That's fine. I'll get one. I'm getting several anyway. I thought you might want input.
Well, you do have options now, Jiren. You can always have something etched instead, and then you can change it if you want to.
I could just... I could get magnets. Fridge magnets all over my arm. Good idea.
Where we last left our heroes, Agatha was standing over the unconscious body of Bosco in the fighting pit in the basement of one of the larger drinking establishments on the stopover. The rest of the crew was scattered throughout the howling, baying crowd who have just witnessed his outstanding victory. What are you doing with Bosco now he's unconscious? I should say, because I imagine that part of this, Jiren, you've been looking through the crowd to see if you can find the other members of the crew.
That's right.
You think you might have caught a glimpse of them at some point on the far side of the pit, effectively. But by the time the fight is over and you've managed to make your way round there is no sign of them.
I don't try and make my way around there. As the fight finishes, Jiren jumps down into the pit, walks over to Agatha, and raises his hand in celebration. Mainly because Agatha's done a great job, but also because I want everybody... I don't want to see the crew. I want the crew to see me.
Yeah.
So Oberon is looking at the crowd and looking for the rest of the crew as well. He doesn't know what the rest of the crew look like, so he's just scanning for like the right sort of faces. People who look devastated by this, the people who are booing the loudest, that sort of thing. And I'm trying to do basically my hunter thing of figuring out where they would be going, trying to see if I can track them that way.
I think that's going to be a perception test. Difficulty is going to be, I think, 1 red and 2 purple and 2 setback. Because you don't know who you're looking for, particularly, you're just trying to pick out some body language. And the crowd is substantive, and I suppose it's also trying to parse out those people who might be upset that Bosco's dropped for, oh no, there's my captain, to those people who are like, I've just lost a load of money, he was on such a good winning streak, kind of thing. So yeah, if you can make me that test, please.
I'm going to say there's not much point in suggesting that Jiren's probably told him what the crew looked like.
He might have given you some descriptions, but they're old descriptions at best, so
yeah,
not that will help you here.
I think using the stories that Jiren has told me is what's allowing me to do the role in the first place.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's 2 failure.
Just 2 flat fails.
Yeah, 2 flat fails.
Yeah, you can't really tell. There are a few people who look annoyed, but you just can't read whether or not that's because they've just lost money, or maybe they just didn't like Agatha, or whether or not... You know, you can't read particularly why they're upset. There's no one giving off suspicious, we are pirate crew vibes.
It's reasonable bet some people don't like me right now.
Yeah, I mean, like, Bosco has been winning fights, so people have probably bet fairly heavily on him. Because he was moderately undefeated. He flattened the Weequay that was in the arena before you. You know, there are definitely going to be people in this crowd that have lost money because you've beaten him.
Some of them are just going for a, well, he's undefeated now, he's going to be undefeated all day streak.
Yeah. And some of them might just be... I mean, the stopover is not a shadow port, but there are probably still some relatively shady folk here who, you know, might be a little more sympathetic to his cause, perhaps. And there's some people who just like watching fights, you know? It doesn't really matter the character of the person that's fighting, as long as they put on a good show.
I think we've also all got the vague hint that though this is not a shadow port in the sense that it's not, you know, sponsored by the huts or anything, it's still extremely rough.
No, not really. It's out of the way, it's fringe, but it's not a haven of scum and villainy. This place, it is definitively not that. It is a truck stop. So yeah, it'll be a little bit rough because it's that kind of truck stop-esque, but it is not a criminal port, even a loosely criminal port. It's a legitimate port for people that just want to keep their heads down and get on with it without the bureaucracy.
I'm not going to find any death sticks here, but I might find a couple of, you know, pirated hollows that I've been looking for.
Yeah, it's that sort of place rather than being like, because that was one of the whole problems that Bosco and his gang were causing, in that they were going around being openly criminal and violent, when that's not what this place is about. It's not that kind of venue. And normally you don't get the coordinates of this place if you're that kind of person.
Jiren is saying cliched but very, very enthusiastic things like, "Are you not entertained?" and riling the crowd up. Probably maybe using some of his innate ability to rile the crowd into a happy frenzy of ecstatic, "Yay, we've just won money," or "Oh, we've lost money, but what a fight!"
Yeah, there is definite enthusiasm coming from the crowd. This was the final fight of the evening as well. So yeah, there is definite enthusiasm from the crowd. It was a hell of a fight to end on.
Can he throw him a subtle, "Boy, if I was someone who was told to get out of town by this guy, I'd probably do it," you know?
That's exactly why I'm in the arena, because their old captain, who they put in prison, is in the arena with a guy who just punched out their new captain, going, "Yeah, if they don't get the idea that they need to leave town from that, then they get everything they deserve coming up."
So, what is your plans to deal with Bosco then at the moment? He remains unconscious.
I mean, I felt quite comfortable leaving him on the ground at the minute, but possibly, given his previous reputation, we might want to stick the boot in for good measure of revenge and then go away.
What I mean is, are you just going to leave him here and wander off, or are you going to take him somewhere and lock him up? What do you do with him?
This is a reputable port, right? There has got to be a magistrate somewhere.
Not so much, because they're trying to keep out of the eyes of the law. They tend to police themselves.
Yeah, so not even a not official to the galaxy, but official to this place way of administering justice. Or do they just all, is it like committee or something like that?
Can you make me let me think, possibly a knowledge underworld? That might be a good one for whereabouts we are. Or a knowledge outer rim?
Yeah, I'm going to go with outer rim. Not that there's much of a difference, but...
Can I offer him a boost simply because I'll have general sense of how underworld things seem to work and how we quietly get rid of people we've, disgraced.
Can I offer him a boost? Because I also know this place quite well.
Yeah, I'd say, to be honest, Mim's boost is probably more valid because
She knows this place.
Yeah, Lassa knows this place. It's difficulty 2, please, Mikey.
Okay. So that is 1 success and 4 advantages.
Okie dokie. So, for a success, normally there would be a marshal or similar on site who acts as the unofficial kind of peacekeeper just to make sure things don't get a bit too out of hand. What you kind of remember from some of the conversations you've had that have kind of happened off screen in between leaving Grandma Whiskers and coming here is that peacekeeper, that marshal, tried to bring in Bosco and the team when they first started trying to set up a protection racket and was the first actual casualty.
Right.
They were beaten to death by Bosco in the street, who then basically went, "I'm the law around here now, what are you going to do about it?" Which is when the ill feeling towards Lars really started kicking in, because people were like, "Give him his ship back so they can go off our station," and Lars was like, "No, they owe me money. If I give in to their threats, then I'm telling them that they can win, and then this place is becoming a shadow port." So no one has yet stepped back up into that role just yet.
All right then. So I have a question for you. The marshal as they stand, did they have something to denote they were a marshal? Has Bosco taken that emblem, and is it on his person right now?
You have a lot of advantages.
Yes, then I would like to spend my advantages to take the marshal's badge off of Bosco and put it on Agatha.
Yeah, that works. There is a badge. It's a very, very old badge. It is from, because again, you kind of recall from your knowledge of the Outer Rim, it is from a defunct order of peacekeepers from about 100 years ago or so.
Mm-hmm.
They are defunct.
Yeah.
But this is like clearly a collector's piece. But some of the principles they stood for clearly is still being enshrined on this place out here.
So you know how Jiren works. Jiren's going to do this very theatrically. Everybody who's watching, and I imagine because we've riled everybody up, everybody is watching, sees him ceremoniously remove the badge from Bosco, attach it to Agatha. While he does that, he goes, "Don't worry, it won't last. This is just something we need to do." Then he goes into his side pack, pulls out a set of manacles, if I can spend an advantage to have them on
Yep.
there. And just so it makes sense that he would have them, they are both pink and fluffy, and manacles Bosco behind his back.
So what I'm thinking is, 1 advantage for the badge, 1 advantage for the manacles. How would you say 2 advantages to have the keys to the old Huskow that the Marshal operated out of, which has a cell in it?
That I would be very happy with.
Because you know what, you will have... Lasser certainly will know where that is, or where it used to be.
Oh, yes.
Jiren knows where it is, but he hasn't really been in as a visitor, more of a guest.
Whereas I've probably been there collecting a couple of people from my ship after a bit of a rowdy night.
I'm thinking that maybe the badge is the keys to unlock it. You know, it's got like one of those... It's got like a security tag built into the badge.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll say that then. So yeah, the badge will act as a security pass to get you into the Huskow, so you've got to lock it up for him.
I was imagining kind of a cool Marshal's badge, but what you're telling me is it's a lanyard?
Yes! Yeah. And this is very important. You have to keep this on you at all times, or you're not allowed in the building. Please return your visitor's pass as you exit. Thank you very much. But yes, like a Brave Star badge with an R-fit in it. Next steps then is taking Bosco to the brig, or the Huskow, locking him up in there, and then...
Making sure he has at least 1 meal of food and water for when he wakes up.
Yeah.
And then we'll deal with him later.
Okay.
I mean, as subtly as possible while this is going on, I'm going, just in case anybody decides to take out their anger or anything, I'm going to make sure I take a stim pack before we get too far out of the arena.
To be honest, the people that are looking cross don't look like they're going to get violently cross. A, because again, this is not that kind of port, but also, they've just seen you demolish their previous champion. They ain't going to start something.
They've also seen me take a bit of damage while taking the previous champion. They might have thought, well, he's a bit more wounded now, he's been softened up a little bit.
Yeah, but you're also with Fred. But yeah, okay, that's fine if you want to cross a stim pack off.
This is sports entertainment. You've got to take some damage or it's not a fun battle.
Sorry, just checking. Does one of us need to go and collect the winnings for Ma? Because we put a bet down for her, didn't we?
You did, yes, you put the bet down. I'm kind of imagining that that's kind of abstracted away in you all collecting your winnings,
Brilliant.
patching up Agatha,
Yeah.
shuffling Bosco out of here.
She is going to be a happy lady.
Yes.
While they're doing that, can I figure out how you find out if there's a bounty on someone?
Yeah, you don't need to roll, it's pretty easy. There are HoloNet sites for it.
Is there a bounty on it?
You're going to need to get to a terminal and or have a HoloNet active data slate. I mean, pulling it here... but yeah, I suppose once you get back to the Huskow, you can check from there.
Yeah, is it if there's a terminal at the Huskow, when we get to the Huskow, over on just basically says, Larsa,
Yes?
do you think he's got a bounty on him? It's a good way of getting rid of him.
Ooh, now there's a thought.
It seems unlikely that he might have this badge if he was, did have a bounty on him.
Oh, he didn't actually apply for the job here. He just stole the badge from the original Marshal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's not actually a peacekeeper. He just was wearing the badge. Sorry, I just want to say, incidentally, Agatha, you're not a peacekeeper either. We just needed to have somebody they would not mess with. Before we leave here, we need to give that badge up.
Okay,
And I suggest we give it to Ma.
that might help her get some more resources.
She might not thank you for that.
Although, and hear me out, because I know we've got a job to do in that, but maybe this kind of place could use someone like Agatha. With some of Ma's guidance, Maybe this could be a good career for someone who's good at throwing their weight around, but perhaps needs a little direction in throwing that weight around. Anyway, it's a thought for another time. I'm just saying that this could be a good home spot for someone.
I mean, it looks good on you. Of course, there's a hat that comes with the job, but Bosco did not have it.
I will consider my future career options, but I would like to get Pyjack back.
Absolutely. All right then. Could I log onto the system and see if there are any bounties?
You certainly can. You certainly can. So, the Gilded Bounty Hunters are the official licensed ones, and they work predominantly for the Empire. That's kind of who mostly runs them at the moment. But out here, this far out, you can also kind of access the wider bounty network as well. The ones that aren't necessarily Imperial sponsored. And I'm flipping a dark side point. Because the first thing you see is a warrant sponsored by the Rebellion to kill Oberon Brick. He is a mole for the Empire and an enemy of the Rebellion. He has exposed Port Haven to the Empire and caused the destruction of several rebellion assets and safe houses, to say nothing of the innocent people caught in the crossfire. He has outed a rebel outpost in the Lenico system, alerting Imperial troops in the area to their presence, and has kidnapped a hero of the rebellion for purposes unknown. There is a 10,000 credit bounty out for him.
Who's the hero of the rebellion?
There's also a 5,000 credit bounty out for each of his associates, but at the moment there's no more details for who are his associates.
Associate? Associate? I'm associated with you, but I'm not an associate. That makes it sound like they're paying me to hang out with you.
Lasser, we don't know what you're talking about. You're just shouting at the screen. What's going on?
Oh, all right. Come on, huddle up, come on here. And she shows you the screen. But Jaren, don't start shouting about it like I just did, because I just realised that was really stupid. Just read it quietly.
I am shocked and appalled. Why did they use that photo? I was hungover then.
I imagine it's a student days photo.
It is. That's a terrible pic. That's when I graduated.
And which one of us is the hero of the rebellion who's been kidnapped? It's going to be Prinkle, isn't it? It's going to be Prinkle.
It could be... well, to be honest, how many associates does it say?
3.
Did it just say 3? Well, it's not us. We're all the associates, you see.
It has to be Prinkle.
Has to be Prinkle.
But Prinkle's not a hero of the rebellion.
Have you asked him?
Prinkle, you're not a hero of the rebellion, are you?
I wouldn't say hero. I just did my job, you know?
Oh my god, we've kidnapped Prinkle.
Sorry, Prinkle.
No, you haven't. Who is to say that we have kidnapped? What are you talking about? What is this?
Come over here.
He toddles over, looking very confused.
Come into this not at all suspicious huddle.
Oh dear, I did not know it had been that bad at Port Haven.
It's not great, is it?
I have profound regrets.
I mean, it was pretty bad at Port Haven. A giant ship came in, there was fighting in the skies, we left rather sharpish. There was a bomb threat in the middle, there was... I'm not saying it was your fault, my pet Oberon, but I am saying that were we not involved, this wouldn't have happened.
Oberon did not do that, though. Oberon did not call in the ship. Oberon did not destroy Port Haven.
Do not be kind to me in this for that. No. Yes, of course I did. I made the choices that made sense as a member of the Brick family. I didn't make choices that were wise. I did the thing that would have worked. And my family have seen this as a play, and my family have put out this bounty. This is not from the rebellion.
But look, they're recognising you're alive. That's good, isn't it?
Yeah, we need to fix that.
Oh, it's not good. All right.
No, if this is from your family, then they've got access to genuine rebellion codes, because...
And Prinkle points to basically the code at the bottom, which is the sponsor, because it doesn't give names, it gives codes. Goes
that is a genuine rebellion code.
There's a pause. Everybody looks at Prinkle. Everybody looks back at the screen.
I have a friend or two. When we were on Port Haven last, before everything went all squibbly, you know, when you were out with on your team building exercise day,
and you went shopping.
I mean, it was, yes, it was a bit of shopping. I also I was asked to help out some people that needed my help, and I could not say no. They needed my help, and
he kind of rummages deep into his overalls and pulls out the medal that he was given at the end of his excellent adventure, and very kind of shyly holds it out. It's like,
they said thank you very much. It was nothing really, but
Oh my word, we've kidnapped a genuine hero of the rebellion.
We haven't kidnapped anyone, and that's what makes me suspicious. Whoever has put this in is either very, very wrong or on the tick.
No, you're insane there, Oberon. If this is the rebels, this is exactly what they would think. They would think that Prinkle, you're not a rebel. You're quite clearly not a rebel. You're an enemy of the rebellion. See here, it says.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Empire either. I don't really think that being...
This is not your resume, it's a bounty.
Oh, I mean, I could add some things.
No.
I think, looking, I mean, we know you. We know that this is all hokum pokum. But I suppose if you look at it from maybe the outside of this group, from perhaps the rebellion, if you are not an Imperial mole betraying the rebels. There's a lot of coincidences here that suggest that maybe you are. Now, I know you're not, you're my friend Oberon, and you would never do such a terrible thing. But for people who don't know you, we did go to Lanico. It is where we met Thrall, if you recall. And then there was the Star Destroyer there that spotted us on the way out. And we made the crybaby to draw it away. And we were on Port Haven, and the Star Destroyer did arrive at the end, and it looks like here they did many terrible bad things beyond even we thought. And, you know...
And they wiped out the prison planet we were on before, so wherever we go, there's some sort of desolation in our path.
To Coruscant. Excellent. Good idea.
I need to take myself off the board.
Well, that's good. I could do with 10 grand.
Yes, well, we all could. Can I just check the bounty and the conditions? Does it say dead or alive?
No, it says dead.
It says dead. Does it say no disintegrations?
It does say no disintegrations, yes.
Damn.
Well, that just means that if we return something that's been disintegrated, we don't get a reward for it, but they still think you're dead.
Yeah.
Is there any description of his associates? Do they know who we are, or is there just the key description and photo of Oberon?
At the moment, because of where you are, this is basically like a flash release. It's the first step in the bounty coming out, effectively. This is the key person. It is clear from the wording of the bounty that there is more details to come on the associates. Basically, it's due an update.
Alright, I need to hack in and get all the details I can, possibly so I can also change it.
I'd just like to add a question at this point. How recent is this been issued? I mean, would anybody have had a lot of time to look at this before we did? Or is this as soon as it's arrived at the stopover?
It's shortly after you've been at the stopover by this stage, about a day or so, maybe a day and a half, and this came out in the last 12 hours.
Right, okay, so somebody, for example, somebody we've just beaten with the badge might have had a chance to be on the lookout for someone. If on the remote chance they expected anyone to be here, but... It
doesn't look like Bosco was using the Huscow as any kind of base for themselves. They probably didn't even realise that the badge is what opened it. They just took it as a trophy. From the information you gathered while trying to find him, the Marshal was killed about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and it doesn't look like anyone's been in here since.
So it's more likely that they've actually covered our tracks for the last little while.
Yeah, probably.
Please, none of you take this literally, but I think if I am to move on, and for our survival to be more concrete, Oberon Brick must die. By which I mean, I need to abandon my family name and my identity, and this is a convenient way of getting 10 grand.
I don't think I would like to take the money from a struggling rebellion against the people we don't like.
We can give it back to them, you know.
Yes.
What we could do is, right, we could sort this out. Hey, I've got an idea. Brinkle, you're a hero of the rebellion. Can't we just get you to make a video going, wait, this is all a terrible misunderstanding?
Yeah, we could point a pict capture at Prinkle, get him to read from some cards. I'm sure that will work well.
I mean, more to the point, isn't it a good idea for us to not point, send a transmission about this person immediately after we're trying to flee, from the people pursuing us? Let's not point an arrow at us.
I have a question, and I want you all to think about it very carefully. Who is in the most danger here? Oberon or Pyjack?
Without meaning to be flippant, in the way this is looking, everyone on any planet or city that we visit is in the most danger.
So let's go and find Pyjack, because that's on a planet where nobody's there apart from him and 10th Brother.
Yeah, we can deal with this problem later when we've had a lot more time to evade capture.
All right.
I mean, I will try to make contact with the people I can, but I will see what I can do. But I think in the meantime, is Rilko's Twitch able to fly?
No, I don't think it is.
The repairs are going to take a bit longer, if I recall correctly.
We're not repairing it, are we? We're getting the Gambit.
Oh, we're getting the Gambit instead. Of course, I forgot. Well, that's still needing some work in it.
Yes.
Oh, we have a new ship.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry, I forgot you weren't there. We went to the scrapyard and we found my old ship.
Oh.
We did.
What an interesting narrative convenience.
Yeah, I know, right? It is. It is great. I love that ship. You'll love it too. It is very spacious inside, and it is beautiful on the inside.
Brinkle, if I were a salesman, I would say this has... What's the phrase? opportunity. It has potential, which means it has a lot of holes in it and it needs working on.
It has cup holders.
What I'm hearing is I'm going to need to get my broom and maybe even a mop as well.
You'll definitely need a mop.
Well, maybe... And is the gambit ready to fly then?
A couple of weeks.
Then what we need to do is lay low, I think, as best we can. At least until the clarification of the associates is out there. I can always do some shopping if needs be, because unless I am named. What is the deal for getting the gambit then? This is new to me. I was on the ship when this was struck, and then when you just said, would you like to come for a nice night out? That is the first I know of this, so...
Okay, we have a handful of credits, which we are exchanging some of those, and the Twitch for the Gambit. The Twitch doesn't have a hyperdrive, so it is a good deal. Yeah, we one of our caveats to this was to deal with my old crewmate Bosco here, points towards the cell, and his crew.
So do we need to find the rest of his crew?
Deal with means them leaving. So if they leave, great. If they don't, great. But now we have him in a central position. Either they will leave, or I think they will try and bust him out.
So is he going to stay here, or is he going to be on the ship? Are we living here while the ship is repaired? Where do I need to move my supplies to, and our collection of heights and depths? Me and Agatha are 3 seasons behind.
You need to move them to the new ship.
And is he coming with us to the new ship also? Or is he staying here, and we are being very bigly strong to guard him?
I think we need to take him to the new ship.
Is this the main place where people can come in and log in and find out what the bounties are?
Yeah, it's pretty much the only place that's directly linked into that part of the HoloNet.
So someone's got to stay here.
I suppose anyone that is browsing the HoloNet and goes to, FBI's most wanted type thing. I suppose the bounty from the Rebellion is harder to get because you'd need to have that link into the Rebellion. I don't want to say dark web, but, it's not on the front page of the HoloNet. You've got to know where to look to find Rebellion jobs and Rebellion.
So there's an in crowd.
Yeah, you've got to know where to go to find, because if it's too obvious, then the ISB will just find them. This is the only place it looks like would probably have that hardwired connection, and you could just turn this off and disconnect it. It's not like it's... For a technician of your skills, just snipping the Wi-Fi cable is not... Wi-Fi cable? Yes, the wireless cable. Disconnecting this from the HoloNet. It's a hardwired terminal, so it would be awkward to relocate it to your ship, but just turning it off and putting a lock on it, so password protection, so only you can log back into it, that's not hard at all.
If Bosco's gang are going to go and rescue or finish Bosco, they're going to come here, surely. And we don't own the ship yet.
Is anyone else getting a da-na-na-na-na, wow, wow, wow kind of feeling that we're the sheriff in this town and we're holding our prisoner here to make sure he can't get out?
If we're going to be here for a couple of weeks, Larsa, can you help me? I need some help changing my identity and who I am. I want to do it anyway. I need to stop being my mother's son and start being my own man. And that means I need to throw away everything I was, which is going to be hard, but I think we need to do that now because I'm just putting you in danger otherwise.
Larsa does a comical look around and goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were basically all living in danger because we're some of us convicted criminals running from the Empire, and the rest of us are not convicted Force users running from the Empire, and some of us have accidentally blown up Port Haven and are running from the Empire. And Oberon, and I love you dearly, but this is small potatoes in light of everything else that is trying to come and kill us. So I think we can sort this out."
Can we remove the potential for Star Destroyers turning up from the equation? Is all I ask. This is one less thing to deal with. Everything else, I have my friends, will be fine, but I don't think I can shoot down the Star Destroyer with my rifle.
You'll get what you want doing done. I just want to take the pressure off you, but we are going to be chased, probably by some form of large spaceship from an Empire, probably a Star Destroyer, regardless, because they don't like us. They don't like what we are, what we represent, and what we could be. But I want you to understand this isn't all on you. I know you're going through your I am darkness, I have angst, and it's going to change who I am. And we can do that. We can change who you are, and you can go through all of that angst. It's, I understand, a healthy process for a young man. But it's not all on you, and you'll be alright.
It's what I was trying to say before. You did not destroy Port Haven. That was the Star Destroyer, I saw it. Yeah, you are not entirely blameless, but you are not the butcher of Port Haven. The person who pulled the trigger, or the person who gave that order, is the thing. You have your own choices, and so do they. If you admit that your own choices are there, you cannot take the burden of everybody else on just because you have a slight connection to what's going on with it.
Oberon sighs heavily in an extremely melodramatic way, but it's not a huff. It's more of a, let's get this place secure. Adam, can we do that?
Basically, make sure that we figured out how we'll defend this place if someone's going to turn up.
Can I make a note that I am not disconnecting our link to the Bounty Holosite? I'd like to set it up so that, beyond getting updates so I know what's happening to that bounty, when we leave this area, or if people do attack it and we need to leave this area, I press a switch, the computer shuts down so no one else can access it.
Yeah, that's fine. And again, for an engineer of your skills, that sort of thing is not complicated. There's no need for you to roll. You've got time to do it.
Okay.
Isn't that basically a bomb, or am I misunderstanding?
No, it's more like magnets that you put against a computer to wipe it, I think. and cutting the Wi-Fi cable, as Adam puts it.
Yes, it trashes the terminal, but not in a dramatic fashion. That's not a problem. And I think if you want to fortify this place, what about a warfare check?
Oh, I've got that.
Yeah.
I never use it.
That's why I'm suggesting you might want to make a warfare check. It seems an appropriate point in time for that skill to start being relevant. Warfare check, standard difficulty, 2 purple, please.
While I do a walk round, can I grab Agatha and get Agatha to do a walk round with me? Because Agatha has a slightly different perspective on brute force, basically, than I would.
Yes?
Yes.
Does that give me a boost die?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it probably should officially, but I like the story behind it. Yeah, you may have a boost from Agatha. Agatha has probably been in his share of scummy redoubts, facing off against encroaching badness. Yes, you may have a boost.
That is 3 advantage and 1 success.
Okay. Yeah, this place is reasonably fortified. It looks like it's a bespoke building as opposed to a repurposed shipping container or similar, which a number of the building and domiciles here are. You know, this was actually built on here probably from crashed and scrapped starships, but it is defensible. The walls are pretty tough because of that, because they've come from basically starship hull plating. It's not that difficult for you to then set up probably a bit of a barricade to partition off areas. It's not a very big building. There is one kind of large waiting room, which is where you probably mostly are. The office is fairly small. It has the HoloNet terminal, it has a desk, it has a couple of stacked data slates, a kettle and a small fridge. There's a refresher, and then there's the cells. There are 4 cells, only one of which is occupied. And that's it, because it is a pretty small outpost, and the Marshal, it looked like, worked alone, because this is the kind of place where you don't really need anything more than that. It's more just to make sure that rowdy drunks get put in the drunk tank to sober up. They probably deputise people as needed if people start getting a bit too fractious. But this is not the kind of place where you need anything more than that. Mostly it is just keeping the peace and making sure that pirates don't do pirating.
And he's done a bang-up job with that. We're just
He was doing pretty well up until the point
until
the
the
Bosco
actual
came.
pirates turned up. We'll make sure the shutters are closed so people can't fire into the building, stuff like that.
What I'll do is I'll also just make sure that we can see out from certain points, so we've got decent vantage points. We know where we are, so probably use those advantage so we get a bonus to irrelevant vigilance or similar roll.
Yeah, what I'll say, you got 3 advantage, didn't you? What I'll say is they are 3 available boosts to do stuff should a siege situation kick in at a point, when they would be useful. You have a floating pool of boosts that you can use at appropriate narrative points should it come to a siege.
Cool. So, Adam, I think what we're going to do is once we're all to a point where Oberon is happy that we are secure here, we're going to essentially wait it out. I think it's important that we find out if we're going to have any sort of retribution. So we'd ask Lasser to look around to see if she can find any contacts for Ma. and then just ask her to put her feelers out to see if there is any way we can find out where they're holed up and if we think they're going to actually come for their leader. And then we'll probably just wait out the night, working in shifts, keeping an eye on Bosco, keeping an eye on the outside, going full we're the sheriff in this town style thing.
Well, that, and also probably send Lars a message of warning just in case they think he's been issued retribution on them and gone after him instead.
And to let him know that we've got the guy here.
Yeah.
And we're working out what to do. It might even be worth asking if he wants us to get the guy off planet ourselves, or send him off to a bounty ourselves, or no, wait, that's too much. Just to let me know we've got him here.
Okay. So I think as our heroes settle in to wait out what is probably going to be a very, very long and quite tense evening for them, that is where I'm going to call it for this time. And before we leave you, this episode's patron is Tom Dale. Tom is clearly a person of charm, sophistication and discernment, and you can tell because he's backed our show. Welcome to the League of Super Awesome People, Tom. Glad to have you on board. And thanks to the rest of you, as always, for listening. If you're enjoying the show and want to support us, you can also be like Tom and the rest of our magnificent patrons by backing us at patreon.com/forcemajeurepod. We have a coffee at ko-fi.com/forcemajeurepod. You could leave us a review, that'd be lovely. We don't have a lot of them, but each one we do makes my heart grow 10 sizes. So if you want to contribute to my heart growing to monstrous size, like something out of Akira, bursting out of my chest and taking over small parts of Manchester, leave us a review, that'd be cool. Or you could just tell other people about us, that would also be nice, wouldn't it? All part of the same wonderful family. Right, anyway, I have meandered on far too long already this episode. Look after yourselves, my dearest lovelies. Stay safe, be well, wear a mask where you can, get vaccinated for God's sake, and we will see you next time. Force Majeure is played using the Star Wars Force and Destiny game system by Fantasy Flight Games and Lucas Books. Our intro music for this season is Unholy Night by Kevin MacLeod, and our outro music remains Suburban Outlaw by Forget the Whale, both used with gratitude under the Creative Commons license. If you like the show and want to interact with us, we are on Twitter, we are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, all of which are at Force Majeure Pod, though Twitter is probably where you're going to find us more regularly. If you enjoy what we do and want to support the show, there's 3 ways you can do that. The first is via our Patreon at patreon.com/forcemajeurepod. The second is by buying us a coffee at ko-fi.com/forcemajeurepod. And the third way is by rating and reviewing us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, anywhere where you can find us. We really like reviews, it tells us that we're telling the stories that you want to hear and helps other people find us. Thank you very much for listening. We'll see you next time.